After my enchanting time in Siem Reap, where the ancient temples of Angkor cast a spell over my spirit, I felt the urge to push onward, deeper into the heart of Southeast Asia. The whispers of adventure beckoned me to Vientiane and Luang Prabang in Laos. There was an undeniable allure about these cities, a promise of serenity interwoven with a rich tapestry of culture and history. As I sat in a quiet cafe reflecting on my journey, latte in hand, I couldn't shake the feeling of anticipation. What awaited me in Laos? I searched for answers online, scrolling through endless pictures of the shimmering Mekong River, golden stupas, and cascading waterfalls. My heart raced at the thought of visiting Pha That Luang, the magnificent national symbol of Laos, with its golden stupa glimmering under the sun. I envisioned the peaceful atmosphere of Vientiane, where time felt as slow as the river's gentle flow. Yet, as the date of my departure drew closer, I found myself plagued by doubt. Was I prepared for this next chapter? I had heard about the laid-back vibe of Vientiane and the spiritual calm of Luang Prabang, but would I truly fit in? I often wondered, would I find the adventure I sought, or was I merely chasing an idea? The thought weighed heavy on my mind, leaving me restless in the nights leading up to my journey. But this was not a time for hesitation. I threw my fears aside and organized my itinerary. I marked down the must-see locations. Wat Si Socket in Vientiane, the city's oldest temple filled with thousands of Buddha statues, and the serene Quang Si Falls, where turquoise waters tucked within lush jungles promised tranquility. My heart quickened at the prospect of experiencing the night market in Luang Prabang, bursting with colors, sounds, and aromas that danced in the night air. Upon reaching Vientiane, I was greeted by the warm smiles of locals and the gentle hum of city life. The streets vibrated with a distinct charm, where traditional Laotian aesthetics blended seamlessly with modern influences. I started my exploration at Pha That Luang, marveling at its golden beauty, the sun casting a warm glow on its surface. In that moment, I felt a connection to the heart of Laos, a pulse that resonated with the history and spirit of the land. As I wandered, taking in the sights, I was tempted to pause at each street vendor, inhaling the fragrance of grilled meats and spicy papaya salad. The flavors were an adventure of their own, an invitation to dive deeper into the local culture. I indulged myself in a bowl of lap, savoring the herbs and spices that danced across my palate, and I couldn't help but smile, feeling as though I was becoming one with this vibrant city. Each day unfolded like a new page in a book, filled with discovery and wonder. I ventured to the serene banks of the Mekong, watching life drift by effortlessly as children laughed and families gathered for the sunset. I felt my internal struggle melt away, replaced by the joy of embracing the present moment. It was in Vientiane's stillness that I began to understand the beauty of simply being, a lesson I had long overlooked. As I packed up and prepared for my journey to Luang Prabang, the excitement bubbled within me. This next leg promised a different vibe, one rooted deeply in spirituality and well-preserved traditions. The idea of visiting the revered Quang Si Falls filled my thoughts with images of cascading waters and the soothing sound of nature all around. Would I find peace there? Upon arriving in Luang Prabang, I was immediately enchanted by the town's charm. Its French colonial architecture and rich Buddhist heritage melded together in a way that felt like stepping back in time. As I walked its streets, I found myself drawn to the vibrant morning almsgiving ceremony, where monks in saffron robes received offerings from locals, embodying a profound sense of community and reverence. The days that followed were nothing short of transformative. I found myself trekking through lush jungles to Quang Si Falls, where I leapt into the turquoise waters that beckoned. As I swam and splashed in the refreshing pool, my laughter echoed through the air, silencing any remnants of self-doubt. The journey here had brought me closer to the essence of adventure, a release of inhibitions and a celebration of the unknown. One evening, as I stood on a balcony overlooking the Mekong, watching the sun dip below the horizon, I realized how far I had come. I had traveled not just through different landscapes, but through my own heart. Each city, every temple, every waterfall was an opportunity to reflect, to grow, and to embrace the beauty of life in all its forms. As I prepared to leave Luang Prabang, I could feel a sense of completion washing over me. The uncertainty that had nagged at the beginning of my journey had been replaced by clarity. I had sought adventure and found so much more, a deeper understanding of who I was, of the world around me. The stars twinkled above as I boarded my next flight, and I felt a wave of gratitude for the experiences that would stay with me long after I had returned home. From the tranquil corners of Vientiane to the peaceful ambience of Luang Prabang, I had immersed myself in life's greatest discoveries, and I was ready for whatever awaited me next. The journey of 1,000 miles had led me to rediscover the strength within, and for that, I was eternally thankful that I stepped off the plane in Vientiane, the capital city of Laos. A wave of mixed emotions washed over me. The warm air enveloped me like a comforting embrace, contrasting sharply with the chilly atmosphere I had just left behind. My heart raced with a combination of fear and exhilaration, the kind that only comes when embarking on a journey to an unknown destination. Navigating through the airport, the sounds of the bustling travelers and the announcements in a language that felt so foreign to my ears filled me with a sense of wonder and anxiety. My palms were slightly sweaty as I collected my luggage, and for a moment, I hesitated at the exit, the reality of being in a new country settling in. The vibrant energy of Vientiane awaited me, but it was also a reminder of how far away I was from the familiar comforts of home. As I made my way outside, the sights and smells of the city enveloped me. The aroma of street food wafted through the air, a tantalizing blend of spices that stirred my senses. I could see the vibrant stalls lined with fruit and freshly prepared dishes, each one more colorful than the last. A part of me wanted to dive into this newfound experience, while another part was overcome with doubt. Would I be able to communicate? Would I be able to navigate this unfamiliar place without getting lost? Stepping into a taxi, I felt a rush of inspiration. The driver greeted me with a warm smile, and as he drove through the streets, the landscapes unfolding around me were nothing short of breathtaking. Ancient temples, bustling markets, and the majestic Mekong River came into view, each scene sparking a sense of awe within me. I couldn't help but feel that I was about to discover something extraordinary. Arriving at my hotel, my heart raced again as I checked in, the reality of being in Laos sinking in even deeper. The decor was a fusion of traditional Laotian artistry and modern comfort, and I felt a sense of calm wash over me. I dropped my bags in the room and stepped onto the balcony, the view of the city below sprawling out before me. The golden stupa of that Luang gleamed in the sunlight, inviting me to explore further. As I wandered into the streets of Vientiane, my feelings oscillated between fear and euphoria. I found myself smiling at the locals who greeted me with friendly nods, yet I was cautious, unsure of how to engage beyond simple nods and gestures. Each interaction seemed both exhilarating and intimidating. I tried the savory street food from a vendor and was delighted, but also found myself wrestling with the unfamiliar flavors that burst on my palate. I visited the Patuxai, the Victory Monument, where locals and tourists alike gathered to take endlessly cheerful selfies. I felt my initial nerves begin to loosen as I joined in the laughter and camaraderie of the crowd. Yet, as I stood there, I was struck with a sense of wistfulness, a deep longing for my own home, for the familiarity of my own culture and surroundings. It felt surreal to realize how easily I could feel both connected to strangers and utterly alone in this new country. As the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, I was infused with a sense of gratitude. The beauty around me seemed to hold endless inspiration, and I felt my doubts begin to fade, replaced by a quiet determination to embrace every moment of my adventure. I realized that fear is often the precursor to growth, that it was okay to feel unsure or out of place instead of trying to fit in seamlessly. The soft sounds of Buddhist chants echoed from a nearby temple, a reminder of the rich culture that surrounded me. I closed my eyes for a moment, absorbing the serenity of the atmosphere. My heart swelled with the realization that these feelings, heavy and light alike, were ultimately part of the journey I had chosen to embark upon. Each emotion, whether fear, inspiration, or longing, painted the canvas of my experience in Laos. As night fell in Vientiane, I found myself at a riverside cafe, the lights from nearby stalls reflecting on the tranquil water. I ordered a Laotian beer, toasting to this new adventure and the emotions that accompanied it. I felt ready to explore, ready to taste more food, meet more people, and delve deeper into the culture that was unfolding before me. Tomorrow would take me to Luang Prabang, and while a sense of uncertainty lingered, I was eager to see what awaited me in this ancient city. My journey had just begun, and I could sense with every passing moment that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Each first step I had taken in Vientiane had put me on a path of discovery, a journey that would transform not only my travel experience, but also the very essence of who I was. That my journey began as I stepped off the plane in Vientiane, the capital of Laos, the air thick with humidity and the scent of sweet grilled meats wafting through the bustling streets. I could feel my heart racing, a mix of excitement and nerves bubbling within me. The vibrant colors of the market stalls surrounded me, filled with fresh fruits, handmade crafts, and the rhythmic sounds of vendors calling out to potential customers. I took a deep breath, inhaling the unfamiliar aromas, and instantly felt a sense of adventure washing over me. Navigating my way through the streets, I observed the locals, with their warm smiles and friendly gestures, engaged in animated conversations. Initially, I struggled with the language barrier, my attempts at basic phrases often met with gentle laughter or blank stares. However, I found solace in the universal language of smiles and hand gestures. As I gestured my way through interactions, I began to pick up snippets of Lao, the sounds rolling off my tongue like a melody I was trying to learn. Slowly, my confidence grew, and I found myself stringing together simple sentences that brought about nods of approval from those I spoke to. In Vientiane, I discovered the joy of local cuisine. My taste buds danced as I sampled traditional dishes such as lap, a fragrant minced meat salad, seasoned with a chorus of herbs and spices. The crunch of fresh vegetables paired with the heat of chili made my senses tingle. I reveled in the experience of sitting at street food stalls, watching the chaos of food preparation and the camaraderie among locals. Each meal was an adventure, a unique blend of flavors that told the story of the land and its people. As I immersed myself in this new world, I also faced challenges that tested my resilience. One afternoon, sitting alone at a small cafe and watching the world go by, an unexpected wave of loneliness washed over me. Despite the bustling environment, I felt disconnected. The laughter and chatter around me felt like a different world, one I was not yet a part of. I realized I had to push through this discomfort to harness the courage that my journey demanded. I struck up conversations with fellow travelers, sharing stories that helped cultivate a sense of shared experience amidst the chaos. The cultural differences were both exhilarating and daunting. In Laos, time flowed differently, measured not in rigid schedules, but in the relaxed rhythm of life. I marveled at the Buddhist traditions that influenced daily routines, from morning alms for the monks to the serene moments of meditation in the temples. I felt an undeniable pull towards this sense of calmness, and I began adopting small practices into my day, finding peace in moments of stillness amid the vibrant turmoil of the city. From Vientiane, my travels took me to Luang Prabang, a picturesque town nestled between mountains and the confluence of the Mekong and Namkan rivers. The very air felt different in Luang Prabang, infused with a sense of tranquility and historical reverence. I spent hours wandering through the ancient streets lined with French colonial buildings, their ornate facades whispering stories of the past. The morning markets were a feast for the eyes, with rows of sticky rice, fresh herbs, and vibrant textiles inviting me to explore further. I encountered a tapestry of new sounds as I walked through the town, soft chants from the nearby temples, laughter from children playing, and the occasional melodic strum of a traditional Lao instrument. Each sound pulsed with life, a stark contrast to the quieter moments I experienced in Vientiane. In the evenings, I joined locals beside the river, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and pink. I felt a deep sense of belonging, as though the earth beneath me thrummed with continuity, bridging the gap between cultures and time. Despite the beauty, I still grappled with moments of uncertainty. On my first day in Luang Prabang, I decided to take a cooking class, motivated by my newfound love for Lao cuisine. However, as I stood in the kitchen, surrounded by unfamiliar ingredients and an instructor whose English was limited, my anxiety mounted. I felt a wave of frustration. The dish I was supposed to create seemed daunting, and I questioned my abilities. Yet, Amidst my self-doubt, my instructor broke into a smile, guiding my hands with gentle encouragement. Slowly, I found my rhythm and began to embrace the chaos of the kitchen. By the end of the class, I had not only prepared a meal, but had also forged a connection that transcended the language barrier, a shared love for food and culture. As I continued my journey, I learned to embrace uncertainty and adapt to the unfamiliar. Each challenge became a lesson. Each moment of discomfort transformed into an opportunity for growth. The vibrant streets of Laos became my teacher, exposing me to the resilience and kindness of its people. I discovered that despite the differences, there exists a fundamental connection that ties humanity together, the desire for understanding, love, and community. With every new interaction, I could feel the walls of my isolation crumbling, replaced by a sense of belonging among the colorful tapestry of life in Laos. I reveled in the sensory experiences around me, cherishing every smell, taste, and sound, knowing that each moment was a step toward understanding not just the culture, but also myself. My journey through Vientiane and Luang Prabang was a dance of challenges and triumphs, a vibrant mosaic of experiences that left an indelible mark on my heart. As I stepped into Vientiane, the capital of Laos, a warm breeze welcomed me, carrying the aroma of street food and the sounds of laughter from nearby cafes. My first destination was the iconic Pha That Luang, a gold-covered stupa that stands as a symbol of Lao nationalism and Buddhist faith. The stupa gleamed under the sun, and I marveled at its intricate details and the serene atmosphere that enveloped me. The surrounding lawns were dotted with locals sharing meals and children playing, creating a picturesque scene. After soaking in the majesty of Pha That Luang, I wandered to the Patuk Sai, an impressive monument reminiscent of the Arc de Triomphe in Paris. As I ascended the stairs to the top, I was rewarded with panoramic views of the city below. The vibrant streets, lined with palm trees, had a vibrancy that spoke of life and warmth. I took my time exploring the four ornate gates that surround the monument, each adorned with beautiful Lao motifs and intricate carvings. Curiosity led me to the Buddha Park, located a short drive from the city center. The park, filled with over 200 Buddhist and Hindu statues, felt like stepping into a different world. The gigantic stone sculptures were both captivating and surreal, compelling me to wander amidst the artistry. I spent hours taking photographs and contemplating the symbolic meanings behind each statue. A specific highlight was a massive reclining Buddha that evoked a sense of peace and introspection. The next day, I took a bus to Luang Prabang, a UNESCO World Heritage Site famed for its well-preserved architectural heritage and stunning natural beauty. Upon arrival, I was struck by the contrast between the vibrant market stalls and the serene temples that dotted the landscape. My first stop was the Wat Shing Thong, a stunning temple known for its significant role in Lao culture. The intricate mosaics and the striking dragon motif at the entrance made me feel like I was stepping into a sacred space where time stood still. I spent time wandering through the halls, absorbing the serene ambience and the gentle sound of chanting monks. As the sun began to set, I made my way to Mount Fauzi, the hill that offers one of the best panoramic views of Luang Prabang. The climb up the narrow steps was a bit tiring, but the breathtaking view at the summit was worth every effort. I watched as the sky transformed into a canvas of hues, pink, orange, and purple, casting a magical glow over the Mekong River. Below, the town spread out like a tapestry, with its colonial architecture and temples glimmering in the waning light. The following morning, I decided to explore the Quang Si waterfalls, a short ride away from the city. As I approached, the sound of cascading water grew louder, building anticipation. The falls greeted me with a stunning turquoise hue that contrasted beautifully against the lush greenery. I wandered along the trails, taking in the breathtaking views from various angles. The atmosphere was invigorating. Locals and tourists alike splashed in the cool waters, laughter echoing through the trees. After some time spent swimming and relaxing, I savored a traditional Laotian meal from a nearby vendor, a perfect way to recharge after a day of adventure. I was equally drawn to the town's night market, which came alive as the sun dipped below the horizon. The market buzzed with energy, with vendors displaying handmade crafts, textiles, and a wide array of street food. I sampled grilled meats on skewers and sticky rice, chatting with local artisans about their crafts. The warm, welcoming spirit of the people enhanced my experience as I mingled with travelers and locals, sharing stories and laughter over delicious food. One of my more intimate experiences in Luang Prabang involved participation in the almsgiving ceremony. Early in the morning, before dawn, I woke up and took part in this sacred tradition where locals offer food to monks as they walk through the streets. The atmosphere was peaceful and reflective, the early morning light creating a serene backdrop. I felt honored to be a part of this spiritual practice, even if just for a moment. As my journey drew to a close, I spent a reflective afternoon strolling along the banks of the Mekong River, absorbing the tranquility of the setting sun. I watched fishermen casting their nets, their silhouettes beautifully framed by the golden light. The simplicity of life here, combined with the rich cultural heritage of Laos, left an indelible mark on my heart. Every street, every person, every sight contributed to a tapestry of experiences that would stay with me long after leaving. Both Vientiane and Luang Prabang unveiled themselves to me like pages in a beautifully illustrated book, each chapter filled with vivid colors, textures, and emotions. The blend of history, spirituality, and natural beauty was enchanting, and I felt fortunate to have encountered such remarkable places. As I prepared to leave, I promised myself that this would not be my last visit to the land of a million elephants. The beauty of Laos lingered in my memory, a gentle reminder of the incredible experiences and connections forged during my journey. It was one of those humid mornings in July when the sun rose high, casting warm rays across the bustling city. I stood at the corner of a busy intersection, trying to decipher the complicated transit map on my phone. The plan was simple: take the subway to downtown and explore the heart of the city. But as I stared at the map, my heart sank. The various lines tangled together like an intricate web, and I felt a familiar surge of anxiety. I had recently moved to this vibrant metropolis, seeking new experiences and opportunities. However, the excitement of adventure always mingled with a touch of fear. As the minutes ticked by, I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. I took a deep breath and decided to plunge into the chaos and navigate the transit system like any true city dweller. After a few wrong turns and a lot of help from kind strangers, I finally made it onto the subway. The tiny car was packed with people, each one engrossed in their own world, some with headphones on, others staring blankly at their phones. I wedged myself between a businessman typing furiously on his laptop and an elderly woman clutching a shopping bag with an expression of patience etched on her face. As the subway jolted into motion, I felt a rush of emotions. Chaos all around me contrasted sharply with the whispers of excitement bubbling within. This city, with all its noise and energy, felt alive, and despite my initial fears, I was ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. My first stop was at a bustling marketplace brimming with colorful stalls and the aroma of street food wafting through the air. However, the exuberance was bittersweet. As I wandered through the throngs of people, a moment of uncertainty struck. I lost my way in the labyrinth of aisles filled with fresh produce, handmade crafts, and lively street performers. My heart raced as I scanned the crowd, feeling, for a brief second, utterly lost. Just then, I bumped into a girl who, like me, seemed slightly out of place. Her map fluttered erratically in her hands. We both laughed sheepishly at our mutual confusion, forging an instant connection. Her name was Mia. She was a local, but clearly exploring the market like it was her first time. Amidst our shared uncertainty, we began talking and quickly realized we had much in common. We chatted about our favorite foods, hobbies, and dreams, momentarily forgetting the chaos of the marketplace around us. Our laughter filled the air as we tried several different foods, from spicy tacos to sugary churros. For the first time since arriving, I felt a sense of belonging. This unexpected friendship and the joy of exploring together outweighed the earlier feelings of doubt. However, that feeling was short-lived. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, shadows began to lengthen, and I was reminded of the dangers lurking in the city. Mia and I decided to check out a nearby park, enticed by the glowing lights and the sounds of music wafting through the night air. Yet as we walked, we became aware of the increasing number of individuals loitering in dim corners. whispering to each other with furtive glances. A sudden rush of trepidation struck me. My instincts screamed that this was not the safest place for two young women. I felt the weight of my vulnerability, a stark reminder of the very real dangers that cities can sometimes hold. My heart raced as we passed by a group that seemed to be eyeing us. I wanted to turn back, to retreat, but something in me resisted. I had fought too hard to keep moving forward. Surrendering to fear now felt like a defeat. Mia noticed my unease and suggested we take another route. We turned and walked, but as we did, I felt conflicted. I cherished my newfound friendship, yet was consumed by anxiety. What if something happened? Would I have the strength to protect myself? It was a moment of internal turmoil, a battle between the joy of companionship and the haunting shadows of the unknown. Finally, we arrived at the park, where the vibrant lights and music enveloped us in comfort. As we settled onto a bench, I couldn't help but smile at my companion. The earlier fears that clung to me began to dissipate, replaced by a sense of gratitude for this unexpected encounter that turned a day filled with uncertainty into one of connection and joy. We chatted late into the night, sharing stories of our pasts and dreams for the future. I learned that Mia had her own struggles, having moved to the city herself, navigating a world where she sometimes felt like an outsider. We bonded over our shared experiences, whispered hopes, and even the fears that brushed against our consciousness like fleeting shadows. As we embraced the chill of the evening air, a sense of calm washed over me. I had entered the day feeling lost and anxious, but the unexpected friendships I forged amidst the chaos of the city breathed life into my spirit. When the time came to say goodbye, a heartfelt promise echoed between us. We would meet again, ready to explore more of what this vibrant city had to offer. Walking back to my place that night, I felt transformed. The city was no longer an intimidating maze, but a world bursting with potential friendships and adventures yet to uncover. Despite the lingering danger and uncertainty surrounding me, a flicker of hope ignited within. I had to keep pressing forward, for life was unfolding in beautiful and unexpected ways. In the heart of Southeast Asia, nestled between the Mekong River and lush green mountains, lies Vientiane, the capital of Laos. It was there that my adventure began, with the sun rising over the tranquil riverbanks, casting golden reflections on the water. Little did I know that the journey ahead would test my spirit, reshape my perspective on life, and introduce me to the beauty of simplicity. As I wandered the streets of Vientiane, I was struck by the harmonious blend of French colonial architecture and the vibrant colors of local markets. I wandered into the bustling morning market, where vendors called out, showcasing their fresh produce and handmade crafts. The scents of lemongrass, tamarind, and seasonal fruits filled the air, creating a sensory feast that beckoned me to indulge. After purchasing a few local delicacies, I found a small cafe where I ordered a bowl of cow soy, a rich and flavorful soup that merges both Laotian and Thai culinary traditions. The warmth and friendliness of the locals were contagious, and I struck up a conversation with a young woman named Lek. As we shared stories over our meals, I learned about her life in Laos, her dreams, and the challenges she faced. This connection ignited a spark within me, making me realize how interconnected our lives are, despite the vast geographical distance between us. With her encouragement, I decided to venture onward to Luang Prabang, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The journey from Vientiane to Luang Prabang was enchanting. A winding road led me through picturesque landscapes, where rice paddies glimmered in the sun and quaint villages dotted the hills. My heart raced with excitement, anticipating what awaited me in Luang Prabang. Upon arrival, I was immediately captivated by its charm. Temples adorned in gold leaf, stunning waterfalls, and the ethereal quiet of the town welcomed me like an old friend. As I explored the streets, I stumbled upon the daily almsgiving ceremony, where monks in vibrant saffron robes collected offerings from the local people. It was a humbling sight, one that impressed upon me the significance of giving and gratitude. I sat quietly, observing the profound respect exchanged between the monks and the villagers, and a sense of peace enveloped me. In that moment, I felt a desire to contribute to this culture of generosity. Over the next few days, I immersed myself in the local traditions. I participated in a cooking class where I learned to make lap, a traditional Laotian dish, and even joined a workshop on weaving silk. Each experience deepened my understanding of the country's rich history and culture. However, it was a fateful encounter with a group of travelers that would become the defining moment of my adventure. They were captivating storytellers, filled with laughter and vitality, and their infectious spirit inspired me to embark on greater adventures. One evening, we gathered at a local bar sipping on beer lao, sharing tales of our lives, and brainstorming the next leg of our travels. As the night wore on, a sense of camaraderie blossomed among us. Someone suggested that we embark on a trek to the remote villages of northern Laos. It was a challenge, a calling to step outside our comfort zones, and I eagerly decided to join. The trek was demanding, navigating through dense jungles and steep terrains. Each step tested our endurance, but the breathtaking views and the camaraderie among our group fueled our spirits. We laughed, shared stories, and grew closer as we embraced the beauty of each moment. Along the way, we encountered local villagers who welcomed us with open arms, sharing their lifestyles and age-old traditions. Their hospitality reminded me of the importance of community and how connected we all are, despite our differences. However, the journey took an unexpected turn when we ventured deeper into the mountains. A sudden storm rolled in, forcing us to seek shelter in a small village that was not on any map. This village was isolated, untouched by modernity, yet it thrived with its simple joys. The villagers held a festival that evening to celebrate the rain gods, and we were invited to partake. It was an unforgettable night filled with music, dance, and laughter. But as the night unfolded, I realized something profound. The simplicity of life here, the genuine connections formed over shared meals and stories, was far more enriching than any luxury I had previously experienced. I began to question my own life back home, the endless pursuit of material gain, and the often overlooked importance of nurturing relationships and experiences. Back in the village after our festival, something extraordinary happened. A villager approached me with a small, intricately carved wooden pendant. He handed it to me, explaining that it was a symbol of protection and gratitude. Overwhelmed, I accepted it, realizing that this journey had changed my outlook forever. I vowed to carry this piece of Laos with me, and as a reminder to embrace life's adventures and cherish the connections I made along the way. Once our trek concluded, I returned to Luang Prabang with a heart full of memories and a new vision for my life. The night before my departure, I attended the closing ceremony for a local craft festival where artisans showcased traditional Laotian work. As I admired their creations, I felt a sense of longing to contribute more to communities like the one I discovered. The journey was far from over. The flame of adventure ignited within me, beckoning me to explore further. As I boarded my flight back home, I glanced at the wooden pendant nestled safely in my pocket. It was more than a trinket. It was a reminder of my transformative experience. With a heart filled with gratitude and a mind buzzing with ideas, I pondered where my journey would take me next. Could it be to the jungles of Guatemala, the deserts of Morocco, or perhaps the serene landscapes of New Zealand? The possibilities were endless, and I knew that wherever I went, I would carry the essence of Laos within me, its warmth, its kindness, and its simple wisdom that life is best experienced when shared with others.